All right. I'm Justin Bowen, and this is Justin with AI. And we've got Adrian from Avo, and we're going
Hey
to go
everyone.
through getting started with Active Agent. Adrian, how's it going? What
Hey
time is
man.
it where
Hey.
you are?
So it's 6 p.m.
Oh,
actually.
that's that.
No, it's good. It's good. Sometimes you have to talk to people. Thanks for having me on the show, right?
Yeah,
It is
it's
a
a show.
show.
It's a
Yeah,
show
it is a
now.
show.
I have
Yeah,
the
so we
domain, just haven't done anything.
uh, lazy bastard.
You know
We
me.
we actually we actually met a few times for the past few months, and I've seen active agents online on the socials, and I told you online and in real life that I don't know what it is. I don't know what it does. It's AI, it does agent stuff. It's a DSL or Rails like DSL and everything. But I always asked you for a video and I never got one. And Rhiannon set this up, and now I'm going to get a white glove demo of active agents. So you have to do the work after all.
Hands-on and bespoke, just for you.
Awesome. Take it from there, Justin. What is active agents?
So Active Agents is really just like that missing layer of how to build AI features into your Rails app. And so the agents class is a controller, and the public methods that you define can be used to render prompt templates or as tool calls that the agent can invoke. Are you familiar with tool calls?
Yep. I am.
Okay. Yeah, because I actually didn't realize I make a lot of assumptions in the documentation of what developers have been exposed to with AI. And like tool calls are not something that every developer knows even now.
Yeah. Yeah. But they're very powerful. They're freaking awesome, actually.
Yeah. And so like this example that I have here that I demoed at RailsConf is actually just a prompt template example. So the agent could call translate, but this is just being invoked to translate.
Justin, just bump up a little bit the
Oh,
text.
yeah.
Perfect. Awesome.
There we go.
Thanks.
So yeah, a simple agent class could be something like this, where this translate action is just used as a prompt template to say, translate this message to this language. It can also be used as a tool call, and the tool call definition is just like a JSON schema. And from there, when you interact with the agent can decide when it should make a tool call, basically. And so this just gives you a nice Rails way, I shouldn't say that, a nice Rails native way of organizing and structuring where your prompt templates go in the views directory and where your agent class is defined.
Do the translate text ERB file, does that sit in exactly the views directory?
It does.
Okay. That's
And we can
interesting.
actually, uh, if you want to just dive into an example, we'll
Sure.
get into.
Sure. So I think that the documentation does a very good job of explaining the primitives very well, how they are documented. But like what I want to see, maybe in this video is, okay, let's put something together ish, like,
Yeah,
mock build something. Because that way, this is how I work usually, and how I learn the best. Like I watch videos, I watch people do things, and then I kind of figure out, okay, this is how it works and everything. Yeah. But
cool.
if you want to stay on the docs a little bit and talk about something, definitely we can do
You
that.
know, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done on the docs, and I
Yep.
realize it every time I go through with people. Um, like, I don't even think there's a good example of a tool call in here. Like in this example, these would be individual tools that your agent could call for like a travel agent. But
Yep.
this is more a conceptual mock-up, not exactly a working example.
Okay.
But so these three public methods become actions that can, again, render templates for prompts or be called as tools by the agent. Another thing that I need to have a little better clarity on in the docs is the whole prompt management. So a prompt in Active Agent is the context messages, the prompting message, which is whatever user interaction, agent tool call, whatever is the last message is the actual prompt message that's being rendered by an action. And then actions are the tool call being performed or the template being rendered. So that prompt method that we see is actually going to render a prompt object. And then this prompt object can be generated on. So you can generate now or generate later using queue generation. And so I think it might be good just to get into the code and
Yeah,
get
I'm a little
started.
bit. I know even less now.
Yeah,
The-
that's fair.
um,
That's exactly what I
maybe
like to hear.
before we
Let's
do
just
that,
do a Rails. What?
yeah, but before that, can you like explain a little bit what a tool call is for those who don't really know yet?
Yeah, a tool call is, let's get back to the docs, is a way to bridge that gap from the large language model to your code base. So in the tool schema, you're giving the agent an understanding of what your action name is and what parameters the action can take. So a target language and text to be translated. So the message and locale parameters that you see in the template here are something that the agent, the large language model, can decide to respond with a message that says to invoke this tool with these arguments. And so it gives your agent the ability to call your Ruby code.
Awesome. I think that last sentence is the thing. So yeah, you're basically telling the LLM how to use your app and whatever you're exposing from the app. It's users or things or like more like actions, right? That your app can do.
Yeah, and that's why I've left the action naming, because I feel like it, for a Ruby developer, is a very natural thing. Like,
Yeah, gotcha.
your controller performs actions, actions render views.
Yep.
So it is using action view under the hood for the template rendering.
Yep.
And it's also using action view under the hood for the JSON schema rendering.
Gotcha.
But the JSON schema is something that is passed as part of your prompt context as an action that the agent can decide if it wants to use.
Gotcha. Now so before we dive in, I just wanna tell you, so whenever you're talking about an LLM related and AI related thing, primitive, and you have your own primitive, like for example, a tool, if a tool in LLM world is different from a tool from active agents, I want you to tell us that. Okay. So if there are things that people might, they might think, okay, I know what a tool is in LLM world and yours is different. I want you to tell us that. And probably not many differences there, but I want you to, to
That
surface
is a
that.
good point. And this is actually something that Marco Roth was bringing up the other day, just about how tools and action prompt templates could be completely separated to help make that a little easier to understand.
No?
But yeah, like an action doesn't have to be a tool that's exposed to your agent. It could just be something that renders a formatted template.
Kind of a little bit like a service object ish. Which
Kind of, sort of. I would say you can use service objects if you want as tools that your agent can use. So a bunch of Rails apps by now probably have third-party integrations using service objects, or maybe you've even used service objects to represent some complex business logic in your Rails app and your database.
Yeah.
That's something that you might want to expose as like a business process, like a logical flow that your agent needs access to.
Okay.
And that's where you would expose it as a tool. And there's also the idea of an MCP service. You can do that, but if you already have these integrations and you already have your Ruby code, you can invoke the action within this. So if you want to call a service object and have it render something back to the agent, and that's what you can do in here. If you want to use like a before action so that you can query an active record object that needs to be rendered into the template, that's what you can do here.
Gotcha.
So when people talk about retrieval augmented generation, it could literally just be a database query. It doesn't have to be a vector search query.
Yep.
Just to load in additional context, which is an overloaded word, but just additional information for this message that you want to send back to the agent.
Gotcha. Okay, let's build something. Let's get into the code a little bit.
Yeah,
I wanna see how.
it'll be fun. And you were
Yeah, yeah,
talking about invoices before
yeah.
we got on the
So
call.
yeah, before we got on the call,
Actually,
I was
before we get to that, I actually had a
yeah.
question.
Go for it.
You mentioned feeling like you know even less after I was talking for a little bit. Is that because you're just like information overload and it's like overwhelming the way I was delivering it?
A little bit, yes. And I feel that there are these, again, I'm going to use the word primitives, which I have to see them get used. I think the first time you're going to use like translation agent that translate that whatever, and then it's going to click with me.
Yeah, let's go ahead and make a new Rails app, add active
Yep.
agent to it. Zoom in on this code as well. Maybe a little bigger. I've actually gotten the feedback that in the docs, I need to have some kind of output of what it does and what the view like
Yeah.
looks like when it's rendered. Yeah,
And this,
let's get started.
yeah,
See.
hit that Rails new button.
What are we going to call it? You said invoices.
Do invoicing or yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. So why don't we build? So one of the things that I need to do every month at the end of the month is I got to go through all of my invoices, everything that I paid, online invoices, services, single purchases. Then I have to get my bank records and I have to match them and make sure that I send the accountant the bank records and the invoices and everything is there in order. And like my brain goes numb after doing that. So I was thinking I think this is a very good use of AI, right? So
Yeah,
why
definitely.
don't we mock build something like that?
Yeah, let's just
Invoicing. Do invoices.
invoice.
Yeah, let's just
Cool.
do that.
Let's just
Naming is hard.
naming is hard. I was going
And
to try
while
to be
this,
clever and
yeah,
call it something cute.
while this is running, I have a quick tip for you regarding documentation. So if you do give more examples on the documentation website with code snippets and how to use them and what the result is, then this is a double plus. So first of all, your users are going to learn better your app or library. And then the LLMs, which will come and scrape that documentation website, they will learn how to use that and so it's,
No, that's a great point. There was actually a discussion opened on the Active Agent repo of how do they get large language models to generate better Active Agent code. And it is actually getting better. It was really bad at first, but the more test examples that I write, the more it seems to write sensible code. Yeah, maybe adding some LLMs text to my docs or something to give it a hand, maybe a Claude MD file in the root of the project. But
we have something cool. If anybody needs something like that, I can help you out.
Avo has that? Or?
Yeah, we have it in Avo. We actually, I actually vibe coded an app that will parse my VitPress, markdown files and create
That's
this.
what I was saying, Marco.
Awesome.
We need some kind of VitPress thing.
We have it. We got
to go into our Rails app. Okay. And then, yeah, just add the gem. And so it'll install Active Agent. I'm actually going to leave out the next step because it'll actually raise an error. But we do need to also install like Ruby Open AI because that's what's going to be the driver for our generation provider. But let's just generate the install and make it looker. I'm also going to just use Olama for this. That way I don't have to put in any keys and just let it be like that.
Yeah.
So the installer is going to, this is actually a bug in whatever Rails is doing with templates. I actually don't know how to get that out of there. It's not added in there anywhere. It was driving me crazy. Like I thought it was added by some AI or something, but nope. So instead of OpenAI, we'll do Olama and shouldn't need keys for that. I think let's just check the docs again. Where did the docs? They're right there. Let's just have them side by side. Generation provider. And so for the generation provider, we're going to have to install some kind of, I think it's actually in the getting started here, some kind of driver for the generation provider. I've actually heard some people asking for like a Ruby LLM generation provider, which again, pull requests are welcome. But if you notice Olama and OpenRouter, since they both follow the same API specification as OpenAI, you can just use the OpenAI gem, and the implementation is really just inheriting from my OpenAI provider. So let's give it a try. Go ahead and install that. And then I just need to double check. We need to use Sphere. Cool. All right.
We double paste it.
Right. And
Do you need to change the name from OpenAI to Olama, maybe?
This I do, yeah. Thank you. Pairing together. Pairing is fun.
For effect.
So from here, I think the first thing to look at is the application agent. Change that to Olama. Change the model. Make Chat GPT. And if we just go in and try to use this, we can. It should just work. Let me say with a message, hi, and this is going to run on my machine. So this is, again, in the docs. Prompt context is an interesting thing. Configuration up down for, oh, I didn't save my file. Save.
You should have autosave.
I should. My brain usually just does it for me. Okay, so this is the prompt object that I was talking about earlier. You have like prompt options and parameters here. The instructions that are automatically passed in from the instructions that you added in your agent file. And you can override these per agent. There's a new feature now where you can actually template this, or if you omit this, it'll render from the instruction view that's in your application agent directory or in whatever agent directory you have. Or you can actually pass it a hash with like a template.
Okay. Like a partial.
Yeah. So like if you had custom instructions, you could pass it.
Okay. Show me where custom
that
instructions would live.
Yeah.
The file.
Am I not in my directory?
This is funny. So where are you now? Oh, no, it's below open editors. No.
No. All right. So we have our application agent that lives in the agents directory. Perfect. Then if we go down to views, layout, we have the agent templates. And these are what are used as like the layout objects. So if you want something that goes into all of your prompts as like a context, whether you want to load in like the current user account, anything, you could do that in these files, but they just yield.
Okay. So if you go back to the other file, agent, active agent, application agent. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if we wanted to just close Copilot for me. So, okay, the way I see it, you could comment on that line 2 at the end. Layout is like the base prompt, right? No, like it wraps everything.
Could add
like
that
every
to the docs,
prompt
you're saying?
Yeah, no, if I were like, you don't have to add it, no. But it's like whatever you write inside, like in that agent HTML, whatever you put there, it will just paste it with every prompt. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And instructions, this is only something that is going to be given in the beginning, right? Like as the first step, the first conversation.
Yeah, it's always the system message that will preclude the, I think I lost my terminal. Yep. So that's what's going to That's here. Yeah, I
Because we
changed it
haven't. Yeah,
because
let's do that. Let's do that.
there's no template now.
Do the
But
template. No, it's good. It's good. Let's write the file. I want to see the file.
okay, yeah. I mean, that'll be interesting because I actually haven't done it on the
I was
application agent yet, but it should work. So if we make an application agent, and this is actually another interesting bit. If you want to load in instance variables into the instructions, this is how you would do it as well. But instructions, text, and this is actually another bit that I was mentioning. I could just remove this and it should automatically render the instructions now. Because that is like the default path for instructions for the application agent or for whatever agent.
Yeah.
Perhaps let's see if it works on application.
Yeah, but you didn't pass any instructions.
That's true. I'm
Something.
just making sure it didn't error out first.
Yeah. Okay.
You are highly intelligible. Sure. Let's use that.
Perfect.
Okay. Now,
who needs humans?
All right. It's just reloading. No,
Nope. We got to talk about that as well.
it's right there. So this was rendered from this view, this text here. So instead of polluting your agent code with all of your prompt code or text or whatever, yeah, you can just do that.
Awesome.
But you're highly
go for it.
intelligent and capable accountant.
Perfect.
Right? That's what we're working on.
Yep.
And then, yeah, if you wanted to, you could say you work for, and then just add in.
Yeah, is it that?
Yeah, right.
Company.
Like you wanted to do some kind of.
Let's see, where do you add that?
Yeah, so you could just set company name.
Okay.
And a before action. So it actually is getting smarter where it recognizes this is a controller and we can do things like this in it.
Okay. I have a question. So application agent, this class, is this meant to be like application controller and everything else should inherit from it? So what we're doing here is just, spitballing and, we're using it to build something really quick. Gotcha.
Just to show you it working before we go ahead and define that invoicing agent or whatever you want to call it.
I love it. And everything can be overwritten, like, generate with, can be overwritten in the other agent, which inherits from this one. Yep.
And yeah, the idea is each agent can have its own instructions and its own actions.
Okay.
And
is there anything, and it can take concerns, of course, right? And all those Rails goodies. Okay.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking to Marco about. Like tools or tool sets could be concerns.
Okay. Gotcha.
FastMCP actually gives you, if you use FastMCP in your Rails app, it'll give you a tools directory. But you could literally just have a concerns directory for your agent. And then you could have little public method definitions that could be the views that, or the prompt templates or tools that you want to render.
Gotcha.
Yep.
What's something... So generate with, this is the only proprietary method, let's call it, or like method call. What's something else that's important? Probably has more things.
There's also before and after generation.
Okay.
So if you want to do something after the action's rendered, but before the prompt gets sent for generation, or even after the prompt gets generated on, but before the action's after action callback.
Okay.
You could use the before and after generation. And then there's also on stream, which will give you access to the response object as chunks are being streamed back. So you can have your on stream callback, broadcast message, and then that can just use Turbo or whatever to send it to the front.
Okay. Okay. Let's get into it. I want us to build something ish.
Yeah. And then just like real quick, you can see in the console now I've added generate now.
Okay. Yep.
This
I
should
see it.
just take a little bit because it's running on my old M1 Pro. So now this is the response
Yep.
object
Yep.
that came back from our generation provider that contains that message.
Gotcha.
And then it also contains an updated prompt. So this prompt is how you can manage your state between actions or between agents. And so this will contain the initial instructions,
Okay.
that message that came back in the response,
Okay.
and then the full stack of the system message with the instructions, the user message that says hi, and then the agent's response. And so if you need to use this context, you could store it in your database or you can pass it off to another action. So after generation, you have access to this response object and you can decide to pass it off to another agent. Maybe
Yep.
you've done some kind of invoice processing and you want to pass it off to a different agent for reconciling that with your bank
Yep.
account, but you don't want both agents to have access to your bank service object.
Yep. Okay. Quick question. Is there an easy way to serialize and deserialize the prompt object to store it in the database?
So I am working on a gem called Solid Agent that is an opinionated way of putting that into your database.
Okay.
But right now I would just say use the callbacks and define your own context objects. I know a lot of people already have these context objects if they're interacting with large language models. So if you have a messages, chat, whatever context model, then you could just create those records. But so yeah, the prompt object.
Okay. I have one recommendation. There's this gem called Universal ID from Hopsoft.
Yeah.
Nate Hopkins. It's an amazing way to serialize anything, air quotes here. So maybe you want to have a look there because you have to define it at some point, but at some point, then you can just do something to it from payload or parse or payload or build or something, and then it will just serialize it for you. You can have it like very serialized, very small and compressed and everything. You can make it larger, whatever you want, but it's going to be like a very
fast, recursive, optimized, URL safe serialization for any Ruby object. Is that what you're saying?
Does that sound good? Yeah.
Sounds great to me.
Yeah. So you can just
and it uses
chuck it into
message pack and
broadly. Yeah. And you can check it into the database and that's perfect. And then you can go on your merry way. Okay.
See, actually, this would also be very useful for another thing that I have planned is not just for telemetry, but like monitoring and evaluation. Like say you're changing your prompt or you want to have like generate with OpenAI, but fall back to Anthropic if OpenAI service is out. But maybe you want to test out how your prompt works when you switch providers. Having some kind of serialized fingerprint. This is the full stack of your prompt object. When you're using OpenAI, this model, these params on that model, this API version with that model, that's something that I think is going to be very valuable to developers in the future. Right now, we don't have a lot of tooling for those kinds of things.
Yep. Gotcha. Okay. Coolio. Go and build something. Let's build something.
So let's build an agent, shall we?
Okay.
There is an agent generator.
Yeah.
We're going to call it the invoicing agent. And I don't know, can you think of what actions or prompts you might want your invoicing agent to
parse invoice, maybe?
Maybe just parse since invoice.
Yeah, let's do that. Do parse invoice. Now, when I do these things, I just Yeah, exactly.
Do it.
Perfect.
You're boss. I'm just typing what you said.
Yeah, no, and you better do it.
I am your LLM.
That's how bosses
You're absolutely right. That's a great idea.
And so what I imagine this would do is, get an invoice from somewhere.
Do you want just a single action? Should we just go with that and we'll go from there?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it will get the invoice. It will send it to the LLM and it will tell it to extract the items,
I
the
gotta change that.
recipient, and the how much it cost or something like that. So extract data. That's
Makes sense.
I wanted to be very specific at parse invoice, but I'm going to be very with parse data. It's going to be very general. Okay, what
Okay.
happened there?
So yeah,
Take us
it
through
created the
yeah.
views for you. So now you have like a basic view object or like an action view that you can use for your prompt template. You also
Okay.
get the JSON that you need to expand on if you want to use this as a tool, like provide it as a tool for the large language model to call.
Okay.
It's not clear to me yet where we're going with this, though.
Okay. So let's pause for a bit. So how I saw this was, okay, this is me talking to the agent, like from our app to the external, to the LLM. But what you're telling me now is you could expose this this tool, parse invoice, to the LLM. So when the LLM talks to us, so you can have it either way or both in
Right.
the same time if you want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you could tell the agent do something, and then the agent will figure out, I could use your tool to basically talk to another agent to help me out with this task.
Or to talk to one of your service objects
Yep.
to fetch an invoice.
Yep. Okay.
Because then once it has the invoice in the context, then it can go through and parse that invoice.
Okay, cool. So what this will do is it's going to take a file, a PDF, and ask the LLM to extract the recipient and how much it cost and what kind of item did I pay for.
Okay.
Line items. Yep.
So let's.
So it will come. The best way that I envision this, I would just send an email to something. So Rails has active inbox, so it could do, that could be the trigger. But let's think about, okay, I have a controller, and the controller, you have a button.
Yeah, actually, that is a good idea.
Right. Let's do it through a
Let's just
controller.
say the application controller
Yeah,
has
let's just say that. Yeah.
like
Arson.
this
Process. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Now we're cooking.
So this here, stop doing that. This is where you would be able to pass in params into your agent. So say you want to have like a set invoice. Maybe you have like the invoice data already, like a PDF already in the database.
Okay.
So you would be able to pass in the invoice ID and do like an invoice lookup. Right?
Okay.
Potentially.
Yep.
This all is, let's just leave it as that.
You need text.
So you would be able to say invoice ID and then whatever param was sent. Maybe it's a URL. Maybe that actually makes more sense because you already uploaded it, or you received it in an email as an attachment and uploaded it to your active storage.
Yep.
That could work.
Yeah.
And then maybe you just have like an invoice service that can download invoice.
We could do it. Yeah. We could do it from the database, whatever. Let's do that. Yeah.
Spitballing here.
Yeah.
And then this is like your invoice
blob or
sure PDF.
PDF. Yeah.
All right. And then this part here is where you're deciding whether you want to invoke your action or if you want to. And actually, let's pull this into the console so we can talk about it more clearly. Because this is where I've gotten feedback that people need to be able to see it to understand it. So let's see. This is just the URL. Invoice. Initialized invoice service.
Yep.
Yeah, because I made it up. It's not real.
We can do it in line. You can do it in line there. That's perfect.
What, just a class definition?
Yep. How I want this to move. Yep. Awesome.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So this is, again, just rendering that prompt template from parse invoice texture file that's down here. So if we want to, we could take like the contents of whatever is in that downloaded PDF and plop it into here.
Okay.
The other way to look at it, and in this case, actions. So in this case, there are no actions that the LLM has access to. But if we just want to send it a generic prompt context, again, that's what we're constructing with the prompt method in the invoice agent. So right here,
Okay.
we could do that. And missing template, line text. Shouldn't say that. Oh, this. It does need a message.
Okay.
Something that I need to update. Actually, let's do this. Invoice PDF.
Where we did have it from?
Oh, in this, we don't have it. You're right.
Yep. That's what I meant.
Just this for now. Okay. So now, if we look at the actions, and we can already see it at the top, we have the JSON schema for our tool.
Yeah.
And so this is the content of this object being rendered. The action name just comes from it being an abstract controller, so it knows it's the parse invoice tool.
Okay.
We would have to update the description. It's funny that it still has this in it for the generated one.
Yeah.
But it parses an invoice given a URL, for example, and then probably takes like a.
I want to cut you off a little. So we have slid into the second one. So the way I see it, there are two use cases. The first is when you talk to an agent, to an LLM, and then when it talks to you, right?
Right.
So this is the second one. I think this is a thing that I had issues with, like, understanding. Let's do our parse invoice. Let's finish our use case. Okay, where would we tell the LLM, hey, here's an invoice, a PDF. I want you to do this and extract that, and I want it in this kind of setting, right? So in the first use case where we talk to the LLM, I think it's important we reach the end of that issue.
Yeah. So that's where we would be able to take the message that comes in and again, process it from there. So if in this action, we want to do something with this invoice PDF instance variable, we would be able to do that. Let's see, what does this actually expect? The invoice URL. Yeah, what's this?
It's a good question. Is that a blob, like an actual text representation, or is that a file that you can send to the LLM?
It depends. I mean, you could like send the PDF as like an attachment.
Let's do that. Is that easy to do?
Just call it text for now.
Yep, let's do text. Perfect. Yep.
Okay. So we have the invoice URL. So this has to render something. That's what we were just talking about, text. Let's just say it renders this for now. Okay. That way we can see something being rendered inside of our template here. Okay. And invoice PDF. So if we wanted to do this and pass the PDF itself, like the PDF content itself,
Yep.
we'd be able to update the template. And then what we would see is just that.
Yep.
I think it's because it's a view that needs to be updated. Port reload to work. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
So yeah, this would be like the downloaded content.
Okay.
Of
Yeah.
that invoice URL.
Perfect.
And invoice URL again here is the URL itself. So this is where we would have fetched some kind of data. This is like the retrieval for augmenting the generation. And then in the invoicing agent, we could also say, actually, let's just use the instructions.
The simplest thing. Let's do the simplest thing. So tell the LLM to, okay, you have this text from a PDF, extract, yada, yada, yada.
Extract invoice details PDF. And
just, yeah, that's good for now.
yeah, that's fine. And then let's do this again. All right. So now we have the instructions that will be sent, the message of the downloaded invoice content to be sent. And so this is the actual context that's being sent to your large language model is extract the invoice details from the PDF and format them. The next message is the actual content of the PDF to be formatted. And then you could call generate later. And if we go back just to our controller, and this is where you could say parse invoice, generate later. And then we decide what we want to do before and after generation.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Wow. Someone generated an
I sent you the text from one of my invoices. I bought Logman from, doesn't matter. So let's do that. Let's try, instead of downloading invoice from URL, let's just use that string. Awesome. Perfect. So Logman is a piece of software written by Bilal. You're going to love it if you want to parse logs and whatever. So yeah, let's see what it does with that.
Cool. Yeah. Also, I have a branch open right now, requested by Marco Roth for having a more structured way of doing structured output.
Okay.
Which is what we're basically talking about doing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now we have the invoice details as the content there. Great. And we can just say generate now and see what it does. And again, this is Gemma running on my machine. So
no worries.
we'll see how smart the output is.
We're not
and
judging.
I don't even know if Gemma supports structured output, but give it time.
Okay. It was not big. This is awesome.
Now we can just do like a response now and response dot message dot content and
perfect. Love it. I feel we need to have some claps, some confetti.
A laugh track too.
Yeah, exactly. This is awesome.
So yeah, in this scenario, it's kind of just deciding on its own format. You could then take this and say, after generation, you would have access to this response object from the generation provider.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to pass it to a different agent to do your reconciliation process, we could do that. Do that. Or like the future thing in the pull request that I have going.
Let's do something else. Let's build a tool. Let's do the second use case. Let's build a tool which will write to our database. So we'll have an entry saying invoices, maybe in like an invoice model. And I want
so here's the cool thing. You
Yeah,
don't necessarily need the tool to do that.
of course. You could do it in code, right?
Well, you could just do it in a callback. So after generation, you just want to persist the response
Yep.
as like a place mark. Again,
Yep.
like context doesn't have to be chat, doesn't have to be messages. It could literally be your raw invoices model.
Okay.
And so if you have a raw invoices table that you just want to insert this content into, you could
Yep.
like
That's what
that
I want
both
to do.
before and
Yeah.
after.
Yep. So after this, let's do that. Let's add this to an invoices table with, I don't know, the description and the cost, the amount or something.
Hold on. Generate a
Yep.
actual
Cool.
model
Yeah.
here.
No,
No, do we want to generate a
no,
model
let's
first?
just stop it. No. Let's just conceptually
Well,
see
so
how
that's
it
where I was
goes.
saying, like, you
Yep.
don't necessarily need a tool for this. You could just
Okay.
say after generation,
Okay.
save invoice,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
And then literally,
Do the call there, right?
yeah, exactly. So it doesn't need to know any of this because this is developer invoked.
Yep. Yep.
Since we did it from,
It's in the code. Yeah.
yeah, since we decided which template to use, which action to call,
Yep.
we can decide what to do with that. The large language model doesn't need to know anything if we don't
Yep.
want it to.
Yep.
That also goes back to like security. You don't need to pass everything to a large language model to have it interact with your code.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you just wanted to do like invoice create and plop that all in there,
Yep.
whatever
That's
gets
awesome.
extracted,
And structured and yeah.
really it would just be this. Sorry.
But if we do want to have a
generation.
tool,
Yes.
let's do
We'll
that.
get there. Message content. So this should actually work potentially if you had an invoice model.
That's awesome.
Perfect. But yeah, let's think of what the tool would be.
So the tool, what would the tool be? Okay, what if we're
Maybe you
fetching
need to
the
use your
currency?
service object to like
No,
send
let's
it
do
to
a
your accounting
currency.
software.
Can we do a currency exchange rate?
We could.
So, transforming those USD, those dollars into euro or something. And we have access to the code, we have access to an API, let's call it, right?
Yeah. Convert currency. Maybe.
Yep.
And then, oh wait, actually, this is something I wanted to test too. Should be able to run the agent generation again with a new action. And since the agent already exists, what's going to happen? I'm not sure.
I think
I
we'll
have a test.
maybe comment that code, what you had. Huh?
It's already existing.
Force.
Skip collision
Do
check.
force.
Force would
Do force.
override it, right?
Yep, let's try that one because you can undo, no problem.
Yeah.
Hey, you did a copy, right?
That was what I was doing. Force. Cool.
Oh, it overridden everything. So yeah,
That's fine. That's fine. But now what that gave us is the convert currency action.
Yep. Okay.
And so parse converts an amount from one currency to another. And then we could say, sure, from currency to currency.
Yep. And amount.
And then the amount to convert.
Sounds good. Okay. Let's implement this in our stack.
So we would have the amount from currency to currency. And then we would want to let the agent call that potentially after it parses the invoice.
Yeah.
And then maybe we want to do something with the final amount. But
yeah.
Converter, sure.
Yeah. Perfect.
And we'll just stub that out.
Yep. Awesome. This is perfect.
AI is great, isn't it?
Yeah. Perfect.
Or as Marco Roth says, it's stupid and slow. He said I can use that as a testimonial on activation. And if you don't mind, you should use activation.
Shit.
AI is stupid and slow, but if that doesn't bother you, use activation.
I want to go on a little tangent. I think it's cool how you use params everywhere. The way probably I would have done it is use arguments or keywords, keyword arguments to that function.
You could.
So, amount and
It would
everything.
work too. If you
That
wanted
would
to.
work, yeah.
Yeah, do you want to instead?
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. Yeah. That's awesome.
Could do.
That's awesome.
So actually, that was one of Casper's points of feedback when I did a consulting call with him.
Yeah.
Is some of the things that I took inspiration from for like Rails source code,
Yeah.
or from the Rails source code,
Yeah.
is
She doesn't
not
agree with that.
necessarily needed in contemporary Ruby, but it's something
Yeah.
that they just still have. So
I see a lot of mailer code here. This looks like
there is a lot of mailer code here.
Rails.
So now what happens when we go to the invoicing agent again and we construct that prompt from the parse invoice action, you can see now that the actions are set to convert to currency.
Yep.
So it knows that there is a convert to currency action
Available. But we didn't tell it to do anything, right? With what to
so we can update the
prompt in the text file.
Actually, this might be a bug. It should be the full JSON schema here.
Don't worry. No. Don't go in there. Don't go in there.
I'm not going to go in there, but I do need to take note for later. Because it's just rendering the symbol. Tool. And but so now the idea is that after this action is performed, and we get that parsed content that we saw earlier, it can decide that it wants to do a currency conversion.
But we
and
can't
so
tell
we
it.
can instruct it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, part of the reason why might have been because I didn't save that file. But we can update the instructions. It already knows that it has access to convert to currency.
Yeah.
So we could say use currency to convert amounts of the specified currency.
Yeah.
And
or you can say something like to euro if it's a different currency or something.
Euro.
Yeah. Perfect.
And this should be enough to where it's going to try to make a tool call after that loading. After parsing the invoice. And there's some prompt specs and stuff if you wanted to like format this with Markdown and have like requirements, instructions. Some people do that. You don't really need to. Again, I'm not sure if Gemma is capable of function calling from Olama.
Let's do it. Let's see.
See what happens. I'm expecting an error.
Okay.
You got an error.
And an error we got.
Oh, and that's Olama being like, what do you want from me?
Okay.
I guess
but
we
no
could
worries.
update
No worries. I
it.
think I see I see where this is going. Yeah, this is really cool, man. I really, now I really get what Active Agents is. It's this, I don't want to say framework, but maybe it's a framework of structuring your prompts. And I love the way, like, I would definitely work a little bit on that serializing and deserializing, because this really gave me an idea. I know Rhiannon told me to say this, like, this gave me an idea for an AI feature for Avo, but it really did give me an idea of an AI feature for Avo. So I heard this podcast episode recently where, people use AI in their workflows, and they, they chunk up, they give the data to the LLM to chew it up and give something back, but nobody checks it. Nobody um, comes back to it and like checks what happened, if the LLM went wrong or whatever. And I do see this, and maybe Avo, like as this layer where you can log all of the chats. You can replay them. You can try to replay them using different models, right? So if you have this restaurant review parser, and like, it tries to figure out whatever the restaurant does, how good it is, or whatever, based on the reviews, and you get bad data from the LLM, maybe you're going on this analysis
Yeah.
of okay, let's get back to the whole history, whatever we prompted it, and let's rerun it. Let's change the model. Let's figure it out. Right. So, yeah, I think active agents is a very cool thing.
Wow. And you understand it now.
Yes, and now I understand. See, just a short little video.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
see, I do agree. I need to make it. It's actually, do you know Jose was doing the hack spaces as well?
Yep.
We
Yep.
did a video like this the other day, and he described the hack spaces as speed dating, because we had no way of like talking to our entire hack space because it was in a big loud room with
Yeah,
other
yeah.
hack spaces and just attendees doing whatever.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I've been doing with these consulting calls, is just like getting on, doing that white glove
Yep.
dev tool onboarding for free.
Yep.
And you're right. I do just need a video that talks through, does these things for me. But I do get a lot from these interactions too.
Of course.
Like I learn from your perspective. I learn from playing around with this that there might be some feature enhancements or documentation enhancements for me. So
This is
work in progress.
this could be the DDD everybody's talking about, demo-driven development.
Ah, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Building in public.
Building in public. Yeah, this is awesome. Justin, thank you for doing this video.
Thank you. Thank
personally.
you for your time this evening.
I didn't know. Thank you personally, because now I understand it and I have a few ideas. I'll post
It's
about
going to make
them.
the boss happy.
Yes, the boss, your boss happy.
Yeah, the boss. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, thanks for active agents. It's not an easy thing to build, not an easy thing to think about, with this whole new AI, new paradigms, new ways of working with it. So thanks for doing all this work. I think the Rails ecosystem is better with it rather than without it. And now I freaking have a good understanding of what it does. So thanks for all your time today.
Thank you. Spread the word.
Of course. Thanks a lot, and see you around.
Yeah, for sure.
See ya.